Welcome to the Smith of Chicago, Illinois nonprofit home video and artworks creations. In this particular video, we will be looking at Mars Curiosity Rover SOL-103 African pyramid that has an apex area, where we see an E7 Sphinx, which looks like the Sphinx in North Africa, in front of the Isaiah 1919 Giza pyramids. This Sphinx is wearing a royal headdress. Now, he appears next to African pyramids that have apex areas, which places the pyramids on Mars within a time frame consistent with the scriptural reference in the 400-year-old mistranslated King James Bible. Now, when we talk about the African lion Sphinx of Genesis 49:8 as the fourth son of Jacob, who, according to Psalms 105th chapter 23rd verse, is seen entering into ancient Egypt as the fourth son of Jacob amongst the 12 sons of Jacob, where we currently see him today couched down in front of the Isaiah 1919 Giza pyramids. Now, when we talk about the scriptural reference in the 400-year-old mistranslated King James Bible, in which states, "Thou art going up," he couched down as a lion and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? All of thy father's children shall bow down unto thee. This scriptural reference in the book of Genesis exposes the illegal name change in 1611 in theological racism by the 1611 King of England, when he appointed 72 Greek and Hebrew scholars to fly to Giza, Gaza, Gath, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem, and study the Islamic Aramaic Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, when we talk about the illegal name change of the 12 sons of Jacob that left Iraq in the Middle East, Babylonian stele pyramid civilization of Ham, as they brought the Babylonian stele pyramids into Saqqara, we see the African Sphinx connected to the pyramids in Isaiah 1919, the pyramids on Mars, and Alien 33, wheel within the wheel like temple mount UFO. It appears in Curiosity Rover SOL-103. Also, the secret Mars rover image of the stone face of Sidonia. In the chin area, we see a shadow African Sphinx body 1 that has Mars 30D world map. The 30D world map reveals the entire area view continent of Africa that's connected to Asia before the flood. So Mars Curiosity Rover and African Sphinx and Alien 33 images of the Temple Mount actually destroys the 400-year-old mistranslated King James Bible that's we had in every neighborhood church. So it exposes the wheel within the wheel like UFOs, which appeared in 2011 over the Dome of the Rock. Now, if we go back to 1952, we will see the Yom Kippur War that was started in the Middle East when the illegal name change of Jacob into Israel, inhabitants of Israel, as the Greek and Romans through the doorway of Turkey. So in 1952, they saw the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob 1952 UFO, which looked like a dinner plate in which you take out of your kitchen that has half of a softball attached to the bottom. If you throw this dinner plate up in the air, once it leaves your hand and rotates in the air, it rotates around and around. And so therefore, this the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob 1952 UFO has Alien 33, a black-skinned alien with 3 fingers and 1 thumb on each hand, big black oval-shaped eyes. Now, what's amazing about the 1952 UFO that appeared in the skies over Jerusalem, and which angered the Greek and Roman conquerors of the 10 horns of Daniel over the biblical Holy Land areas of Giza, Gaza, Gath, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem. They were so angered at an African getting out of a spaceship, an African-looking alien, that they invaded Egypt. So this is the Yom Kippur War in the Middle East, the origin of the Yom Kippur War. So when we go back to a black-skinned alien on Mars that's transported the African Sphinx of the Egyptian pyramids up to the Sidonian region, we must look at the 1976 Viking frame 35A72 of NASA, where we see 5 African pyramids and a white mountain-sized shrimp-like 41.2 degrees north stone face of Sidonia. So that white shrimp-like mountain-like face in the 1976 Viking frame 35A72 images of the pyramids on Mars, this white mountain-sized shrimp-like face represents the embryonic origin of African Adam. Now, this means that if we look at where the stone face on Mars that look like a white shrimp, right, a white mountain-sized shrimp, it appears in the red ball. So when we come back here on Earth, if you take a white shrimp and hold it up in front of your face with 2 fingers and go into the ball-shaped female Earth of a woman and take out the 1-week-old fetus right? You hold it up in front of your face and hold the white shrimp up. They had the same shape. You say, okay, so what is the stone face on Mars that look like a white mountain-sized shrimp? It's representing the embryonic origin of African Adam. And both the stone face on Mars, a 41.2 degrees north white shrimp-like image, appears in the red ball shape of the Martian planet. So when we talk about decoding African Adam, globe Earth stellar pyramid Mercator projection, it's a 784 Babylonian stellar pyramid image in which appears in the Dome of the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame in Jerusalem. Now when we talk about the 784 Babylonian stellar pyramids, we're looking at geography. Okay, a geometric expression of the latitude and longitudinal lines of the globe Earth stellar pyramid Mercator projections. So you say, well, how can I see the Babylonian stellar pyramids referring to a geometric land surface grid? Well, all you have to do is take the blue bar-shaped earth and place it at your feet and look straight down upon it like a basketball. If you place the octagonal roof of the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem halfway level in the basketball, you run around the sides of the basketball, you're running around the octagonal equatorial perimeter of the blue bar-shaped earth. Now this is where we want to discover the geographic land surface image of the Babylonian stellar pyramids as it relates to the octagonal equatorial perimeter of the basketball-shaped earth. Okay. Now, if you draw a circle on a blank sheet of paper representing the halfway level or equatorial level of the basketball-shaped earth, all you got to do then is place two squares, one sideways and the other vertical. The intersecting lines of these two Masonic squares will be seen generating the octagonal roof of the holy building of King David and Solomon in Jerusalem. So now, once you discover that the octagon is generated by the Masonic base of the Isaiah 1919 Giza pyramid, the square base. So now we go back to the octagon within the equatorial area, the octagonal equatorial area of the ball-shaped earth. Now, in order to see the black African stellar pyramid stellarizations of Ham that's located in Iraq, where Babylon is, and connected to Psalms 105th chapter 23rd verse, 12 Islamic Aramaic Dead Sea Scrolls speaking 12 sons of Jacob. Now, in order to connect a black African Adam in the Bible to the Dome of the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame, 784 Babylonian stellar pyramid image. This image then can be seen when we place a circle on a blank sheet of paper representing the equatorial area of the bar-shaped earth. Now we will place the octagon in that circle. That gives us the octagonal equatorial perimeter of a North Pole concentrically viewed map image of planet Earth. Now once we draw a line from north to south in the octagon, that's the vertical section of the Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure in Lalibela. And if we draw a line from east to west within the circle, that's the horizontal cross-shaped building structure in Lalibela. Now remember, if you place a square, okay, over that cross in the octagon, you have just generated the globe Earth stellar pyramid Mercator projections of the 784 Babylonian stellar pyramid image land grid. Now the corners of the Babylonian stellar pyramid, you must place two squares within the cross-shaped building structure in the Dome of the Rock octagonal roof area to generate one bigger than the other, the square's length, to generate the stellar pyramid corners of the Babylonian stellar pyramid of the first African Adam. So when we go back to the alien 33 on Mars, that's transported to Ethiopiansphinx up to the fourth planet, which refers to Genesis 49:8, thou art going up, scriptural reference concerning the black Ethiopiansphinx in front of the Giza pyramid. Now remember, we're going to see actual alien faces on Mars with the big black oval-shaped eyes, and now what's important about identifying Mars and connecting it to ancient Africa? Okay, the word in North Africa for a city called Cairo in the dictionary means city of Mars. So when we find African pyramids that have apexes on Mars, as seen in the Curiosity Rover SOL 103 land surface pyramid area, that have an apex, we had decoded the Temple Mount, biblical will within the world like your foes that landed from Mount Sinai. So now, as we decode the black aliens on Mars that appeared in Ezekiel's will within the world like your foe. Now, you must keep in mind of what I'm talking about. When I say a black-skinned alien with 3 fingers and 1 thumb and big black oval-shaped eyes, I mean a black-skinned alien. Okay? So now, if I'd say a gray alien with 3 fingers and 1 thumb, then I'm talking about a gray alien. But when we talk about Mars Curiosity rover, we see black and gray aliens as the guardians of our entire solar system. They have 3 fingers and 1 thumb on each hand. They stand about 4 feet tall. Now, when we look at the Angora Gorilla 4 image on Mars, it looked like a black African gorilla in the jungles of Africa. So once we just identify a black African gorilla on Mars, well, okay, we see it carved on the mountainside, black African gorilla faces. So I call it the Angora Gorilla 4. So this is the biological origin of African Adam on Mars. You say, okay, wait a minute. How come African Adam's connected to a black Angora gorilla? Because if you look at the black Angora gorilla on Mars, it appears next to the 5 African pyramids. And then we see the stone face on Mars. So you say, well, what is this? Well, the Angora gorilla, there's several images of Angora gorilla, all right, in the Curiosity rover. But the first Angora gorilla image, in which I placed on this video, it appears in the 1976 Viking frame 35 base 72 of the 5 African pyramids of Sidonia, next to the stone face on Mars.